Hey everybody, I mentioned my bell peppers on Facebook the other day, and thought I'd show you my little setup that I got here for my indoor light system to get the bell pepper plants through the winter, so I can get a bigger jump on the bell peppers come next spring of 2014. But anyways, here's what I got. I got they're minimal. My jalapeno pepper plant died on me during one of the really cold spells that we had, because I guess it was just way too cold and out here in the garage. But here's my light system. I took some Mylar. That comes. My Mylar actually comes every month. It comes in a box. It's packaging that comes. My wife has MS, multiple sclerosis, and she has to take shots once a week, and her medicine comes every month. A month supply at one time, and it comes in this Mylar bag type thing in a box with some gel packs to keep it cold. But I had been saving that for a pretty good while, and I took it, and let me back up here, try to get it where it'll show. I created this stand. I built this stand myself. Bought the light system through Worms Way. I guess a lot of people may use these for indoor gardens. It puts out about like 5,800 lumens of light, and the bulbs, these little 2-foot bulbs, cost about $15 a piece. But the good thing is, when you buy a light fixture, is the bulbs come with the light. So, but these are growing bulbs. These are not blooming bulbs. Blooming bulbs are another $15 a piece. But anyways, I built this little rack myself out of PVC pipe, and I hung my light in it. And I took this Mylar, and I created with some cardboard and some tape, I created a little home growing environment that a lot of people who grows indoor gardens, if you're growing vegetables, this is a really good way to help keep your plants alive. But what I was saying about the blooming bulbs is you don't really have to have the blooming bulbs, I guess, unless you're growing like flowers. These so far, these regular bulbs here, just the growth bulbs, are doing an excellent job. And like I said, I got the fixture at Worms Way. It was like $98 with all 4 bulbs. So even if I were to go buy the blooming bulbs, then I would still have, like $160 in the light system, and this right here does excellent. The one good thing about the peppers is pepper plants are like tomato plants. They have a way of they pollinate themselves. Okay, you don't have to have bees to do the pollinating for you. One good thing about my outdoor garden is I have plenty of bees throughout the spring and the summer and the early fall to do plenty of pollinating for whatever vegetables I grow that has to be pollinated by bees. But peppers are like tomatoes. They pollinate themselves. There's a little bit of wind movement, and they're good to go. They do their own thing. But I'm going to show you what all I've got in my little setup out here in the garage. And what I'll show you this here first. What I've got here is I put some okra seeds from my okra plants. I dried them out real good, and I actually have some more up here on top of my light system drying, because you cannot take a fresh piece of okra and just cut it open to try to get seed out of it. You have to let it dry up, and you have to let it dry pretty good. I don't know how well this is going to show on the video, but you can see this is dried pretty good. And I have 4 more sticks of okra that's drying, but I had taken 1 stick after it dried real good. I got the seeds out of it, let them sit for a few days, and I put some seed here in this little pot. I'm wanting to see if I can get those little seeds to grow. I'm not sure that they're going to, because they actually do not look like good okra seed the way that I did it, but I'm hoping that this will show me some kind of progress through my little system, so that I know that I have plenty of good organic okra seeds for the spring of 2014. My other plants here, this is my baby plant, and it's actually done really well under the light. It's grown really good. There's no blooms on it yet, but I have a couple, and this is not going to show. I have a couple of little small blooms that look like they're going to turn into peppers. But my other ones here, these 2 here, I'm really kind of proud of. This one, I have a bell pepper, a nice little bell pepper growing here. And another, well, let's see, that one. And then I have this one, it's kind of hiding. Bell pepper growing here. And I'm really shaky with this thing, with this video camera. But anyway, there's 2. Now I just took a nice chunk of a pepper off here for in the house. I took him into the kitchen, and he was pretty good size, considering that I'm using a small 2-foot light with 5800 lumens, or 5600 lumens, I think it may be. But when you're growing them inside the way that I'm doing right now, if you get them the size of your palm, they're not going to be like a summer. They're not going to be like a summer bell pepper where they're really huge. When you're growing inside the way I do, you're going to get like what I refer to as a mini bell pepper. So I could probably put maybe 2 of them in the palm of my hand when I think that they're full grown, and they smell good. When you cut them, they smell good. They're mature. They taste good. They're actually really good bell peppers. But now this plant here, I set this one back. This pepper here, this pepper plant, I have, follow me here, I'm hoping it'll show up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have 10 bell peppers grown on this one plant, which is to me is really good, because last year when I did this, I did not have this type of growth. But now what I did is I took my pepper plants, my bell pepper plants, when I got the first frost in 2013, the day before that frost came in, I took these plants, I dug them up out of the garden, transplanted them. Of course, it's what we call overwintering. But I took them, I dug them up, put them in these pots, which is like a 10-inch pot. Put some good soil in it, a good mixture of soil with a grow mix. It's an F15 grow mix, and I fertilized them one time when I first transplanted them to put them in here, and they're growing. I mean, just really, really well. This plant in particular, and the one in the back that I just showed you. This one here was really, really small. He was only about 3 inches tall, and you can see now he's probably only 7 or 8 inches tall, but you can see this growth. I didn't prune these. I did not prune none of these. But the bell pepper plants I put them in the ground as seed in the middle of May. And I got no bell peppers off of them at all. I'll take that back. I got one bell pepper throughout the whole growing season. It just took so long for these to grow that's the reason why I decided to overwinter them, bring them inside, cut them back just a little bit, not really prune, but just cut back like on the leaves, and brought them in for the winter, so that when I transplant them back out in the spring of 2014, I'll have a big jump on my bell peppers. Now my jalapeno peppers, I will start those probably in February and get those ready to put outside come April, May at the latest, depending on the frost that we get. The bigger pot that I have here, this is where I have my onions. These are probably not going to show because they're still a little stringy, but I have some onions here that I've started just to see if I could do it or not. I'm not really what you call a farmer, but I've been planting vegetables now for several years, and I'm hoping to get a really, really good jump in 2014 on my peppers and some onions. And of course I've got tons of stuff I'll do another video on later. But anyway, I wanted to show y'all my light system. I wanted to show you how well my bell peppers are coming along to be indoor grown. I fertilized these one time. I haven't fertilized them since, but now I did get a small problem with some white mold, which is like a powder mold on the soil, and that's because of not having enough really good airflow through my system here. If you don't have good airflow, then you're going to have a problem, at least a small problem probably, with some white mold trying to grow in your soil. So I had to come out here last week, and I had to take about probably a ½ an inch off the top of all of these plants, because they started to off the top of the soil in the pots of the plants. I'm sorry, but it was white mold, and I got it under control. I took about a ½ inch of soil to an inch of soil off the top of each one of these pots, put a little bit more potting soil back in its place, and then what you do is you take cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and you sprinkle. That's the reason why you see this brown or orange type color on top of the soil and on top of some of these leaves. But ground cinnamon, you take you some ground cinnamon and you shake on top of your soil, and it controls and kills all the bacteria that causes the white mold to grow. So everything is healthy. It's 100% organic. There's no herbicides, no pesticides, or anything like that I put on my plants, even in my garden during the summers, spring and summer, and even into the fall time. I use nothing but just straight dirt and water. Mother Nature comes in. She does her job, and she does it really well. And our 2013 garden was a real blessing. We have probably 90 or 100 quarts and pints of stuff, all kinds of pickles and squashes and okras that we grew. We jarred them up, canned them, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just wanted to get y'all a little bit of video footage of what I had here, my little setup. In a couple of months, come February, I have all of this stuff here. I got tons and tons of little 2-inch, 3-inch pots. I've got grow pots. I've got I got peat pots. I got tons of all different kinds of seeds. Like I said, I'll do a video later in another month or two of what I will actually be starting to put outside. Tomato cages, pepper cages, probably got about 30 35 of those. They come in handy. Anyways, I wanted to give you all an idea of my setup, what I'm doing here, what I'm growing, how I've got it growing, and how I'm going to start stuff for next spring. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my little video here. I'm not a professional at what I'm doing with this video camera. I learn, as far as my garden goes, I learn something every year. And like I said, this is probably 2013 was probably my 12th year, my 12th season of actually growing vegetables myself in a garden outside. And there's always something to learn. When you get to the point where you think you know everything, then you've messed up. You're going to screw something up unless you're just growing 1 or 2 vegetables like tomatoes every year. You can be a pro at tomatoes after about 3 or 4 years because you work in the same soil, the same place. In my garden, 928 square feet, and this year I have to rotate. In 2014, I'll have to rotate my tomatoes with some other stuff. I can't put them back in the same place again this year. 2 or 3 seasons in the same spot is max. You have to move them, otherwise you're going to run into a lot of bad problems. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to getting y'all some more footage come in a couple of months, come about February 2014, to show some progress about what I'm doing for next spring. Alright, love y'all. Check me out. Bye.